Hi, it's the Beals.
And today we're going to talk about how to stay close when you're both busy. So Rick and I both work. We're both busy. And I'm sure a lot of you guys who are married, you have kids, you have all kinds of different responsibilities. And life is busy. And you want to know how you can maintain your marriage relationship when you're both busy, how you can connect with one another. So we are going to share a few ideas that we have for how we've stayed connected over these past 20 plus years in our marriage, even when times were really, really busy.
Right.
When I think back to the busiest time in our marriage, I definitely think the busiest time was when
Small children?
when you were in Bible college. Because
yes. Well, those school-age children, Bible college during the day, I was working at night.
yeah,
We lived in a new place.
and I was teaching school.
Yes.
So your schedule was every morning you would get up and then he had to be at school at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And then you would get off at 1, come home and eat it, and then have to be at work at 2, get off at 10, and then he would study
Or
at
11.
night. And then you would study a little bit before you went to bed and got up and did it again. And then you would think, well, on the weekends it wouldn't be so bad, but on the weekend we worked a second job that we worked cleaning church together. And he also had a ministry that he did on Saturdays. And then Sunday we were working all day in the church because we had morning service, evening service, and Sunday school, so we were busy the whole day. So, and then even that was your schedule, but my schedule was busy because I was teaching Christian school. And of course in the evening I'm the one making sure everything's happening with the kids because you were gone. So it was just constant state of busyness. We were at the church 7 days a week. It just did not end. So
some nights, like during the week, I would leave and the kids were asleep. And I would come home at night from the job and the kids were asleep. And I know there's a lot of parents that go through that. I was fortunate enough that during my lunch hour at the job at night I could come home, and that was sometimes the only time we saw each other. Only time I saw the kids for quite a while.
Which is actually our first tip.
Yep.
And we managed to stay, actually, we talk about that time as actually being a really fun time. You probably wouldn't
I know
believe that.
we didn't build it up like it was a fun time, but you know, busyness, or let me say busyness can be bad, but if you do it in the right spirit, it can really keep you motivated and keep life exciting.
Yeah.
And there was so much going on, and we were all enjoying it.
And we were purposing to stay connected, which I
Exactly.
think was part of it.
So
one of the things that we did in our first tip is to eat together.
eat together.
So every single time that we could, we would have lunch together or dinner, as it were, just depending on what the schedule was. But we would constantly try to make sure we as a family still had a time where we gathered together to eat a meal together, which was usually dinner because our dinner time was usually his lunch time at work. And he would come home and we would all eat together as a family and we would talk. And then a lot of times after you got off work in the evening, we would have a little snack together as well. So just having that time where you gather around the table together, I think really makes a difference in terms of your relationship. There's something about eating food and connecting that really makes a difference.
So I'll say this, if you have a young family, eat together. You should eat together as much as possible with the kids. It keeps everybody close.
Not in front of the TV.
No, actually
At a table.
talk.
Yes.
Put your phones away and actually talk. It does build relationships.
It does.
And you should have a strong relationship with the ones in your house. That just makes good common sense.
But particularly with your spouse.
Exactly. Let me throw that one out there. You're a cute little family. Kids are young. Have dinner together as much as possible. It builds relationships. It keeps the parents close to the kids. It helps the kids be close to the parents. It's wonderful. But sooner or later, those kids grow.
That's true.
And you blink your eyes, they're gone. We have one now, 2, that are already pretty much gone. But anyhow, sooner or later, you get down to just you and your spouse.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. That's number one there. You should be building that relationship because you only have those kids for, it's temporary. You're going to have that lady and you're going to have that fella. I know we'll mention both. You have me.
I do.
For a while. And you want to have a close relationship. So you should eat together, because I'll tell you, eating it's a normal activity, and it's something that you do all the time, every day. And if you get used to doing it by yourself, it just keeps a kind of a distant spirit between you and your spouse. I have a bad habit of when we have dinner. I did it yesterday. It was breakfast, and I'll get up and walk around while I eat.
He does.
And yeah, I'm in the room, and in my mind I'm thinking, it counts. But you can't really communicate with somebody when you're sitting at the table and the other person's pacing around like, whatever, like a buzzard. I'm the buzzard, not you. Yeah, anyway, but you have to sit, you have to look at each other, you have to communicate and that kind of thing. You did on your first date, hopefully. You should throughout the marriage. We just had lunch. And we ate at the table together. There were no kids involved. It was just her and I. And it was lovely. So eat together. You ready for another one?
Yep.
Do what you can to make sure this happens. It might not happen every night.
He loves suspense.
But do it as often as you possibly can. Husbands and wives, right? Mark this one down. Do your best to go to bed at the same time. Same moment, same moment. It's very important. Not 10 minutes before each other. Exactly, the lights are out, you're in bed for the night. Because if you wait an hour or so, one or the other is going to fall asleep and that kind of thing. And even though you say, well, we went to bed kind of at the same time. No, you didn't.
I think when it comes to really all of these, the key is to leave communication open. And I know that when we go to bed at the same time, you usually lay in bed for a little while before you go to sleep, and then you can talk a little bit. And I find that that's actually a really nice time to just talk and be alone at the end of the day and kind of have those last things that you have on your mind so you can go to bed peacefully. And it's so much nicer to just sit and talk to your spouse while you're laying in bed and just kind of get those last things off your mind, little good night kiss, and then go to sleep.
I've noticed that I mean, you're smart all day long, but I have noticed that right before it's time to go to sleep, I get really smart.
Oh.
All of a sudden,
I've noticed it too.
all of a sudden, the ideas and the inspiration behind it just start to flow.
Yeah.
You could solve all kinds of problems, kind of deal, and all that stuff. It just seems to happen at night. Maybe it's finally the coffee kicks in.
Maybe.
But again, eating, normal activity. But if you do it with the people that you love, it really becomes a bonding time. And bedtime, right? We all sleep. But yeah, many of us, because of busyness, we sleep at different times and everything, and we tell ourselves that that's okay. But over the course of a long period of time, it does kind of hinder what marriage could really be. It does create a distance. But if you know, hey, it's bedtime and we're both going, you everything that you conquer in marriage you should do it like a team. Even bedtime. Let's conquer this thing like a team and show bedtime we're champs. Number 3, are you keeping score? Stay in touch.
Yes.
Throughout the day, stay in touch as often as possible during the course of a day.
I actually really appreciate that you, when you're at work, take the time to text us.
Yeah, I'm a text stalker.
He is the initiator of most of the texts. It's not that I have to always initiate it. He, most of the time, because I don't want to bother him when he's at work, so I try not to send him too many. But I do send him texts from time to time throughout the day, usually things that he can check whenever he has a moment. But he will usually, when he's on his break, I always feel like because he gets like 2 15-minute breaks and then his lunch every day, working an 8-hour shift. So when he takes his 15-minute breaks, I always feel like he's taking his break with me, because on his break he'll text me and talk to me while he's on his break, or sometimes he'll call, depending on the circumstances. But the idea is just that he's making a point to check in with me throughout the day, and even if it's just sending me, like if he's busy and he's cutting his break short, he'll send me a meme or something.
I'll meme you. I'll meme you. I'll gif you. Jiffin is all right. And every once in a while, I'll do the emojis.
Yeah.
I'll emoji you.
Yeah.
If you just send the one, it's real small when it comes across the text. But if you send 3 of them in a row, it makes them a little bigger. And you know when I'm serious about our communicating when I send you 3 emojis in a row.
So serious.
Pops up bigger. And then I do a bunch of different kinds of texting and everything, because I'll tell you, you need to stay in contact with the whole family. Yes. So I discovered these things called group texts.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I think everybody's familiar with those.
Well, I'm new at it. It's a wonderful thing. I got one for the entire family.
Yeah. And
if I am inspired to communicate to one of them a very intelligent GIF that I found, or something, or a meme of wisdom, I'll send it to them. Yeah. And I don't do. You think somebody that's kind of obsessive would have a specific time that they send it? No, I actually, when it comes to this, it's as it happens. Yeah. I try to be random. I don't want people to know it's coming. I want them to be shocked by Dad's love.
Okay.
But overall, overwhelmed.
Yeah, with joy.
With joy.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I have a group text for everybody.
You do.
And then occasionally I'll have something that I know only my wife and daughter will get. So I have one with just me and my wife and daughter. But the kids are wonderful. God bless them. But you got to sometimes cancel out the kids. You got to kick them aside. Because I several times a day, I'll text just her. And it does keep that communication going.
Caution, though. If you have multiple group texts and your spouse is on it, make sure you're sending your texts to the right place.
Could get awkward. I'll give you another one. I call this one little dates.
Little dates.
Little dates. For example, a couple walk. Yeah. Go for a walk. Okay?
We do that a lot.
Yeah. It's something that's not something that, I don't know, it may not be big to anyone else. Someone else might say, oh, it's a walk, whatever. But between the husband and wife, it can be a very nice thing. It's a personal thing. It's a time that you just meet and you just do something and you just keep it going, and it's something that you enjoy. You don't enjoy going on a walk? Get a bench. Swing on the porch or something. It's something to build quiet time together. Couple time. Hashtag couple time.
I want to say that when we were younger and our children were younger, and they were first getting old enough where we would leave them alone so we could go out.
Yeah.
We first started by just leaving the house and going and getting a cup of coffee and coming home. So it was like half hour, 45 minutes just to start down the road. Everybody had phones just to make sure everybody was okay. And then we started expanding the time. And I actually think that was beneficial for us in terms of learning the value of little dates. Because a lot of times when you think about dating your spouse, you kind of want to make this big, majestic thing. Well, we didn't have the luxury of being able to do that. We didn't have family in the area, and we just wanted to, be very rarely away from our children. But we needed some time away. So even if it was just getting in the car for a little bit, but it's just trying to find opportunities, even if it's just a short time, that you guys can go away and just be the two of you. Just have some alone time is really precious. So don't wait until it's going to be some big, huge event, where you're going to a restaurant or the movies and spending money. Little dates, they're very valuable.
Let me tell you something, and this is true or false. You can plan a big date. You can figure out somewhere to go for dinner and spend a lot of money on it. And then something to do after dinner, because, in America, dinner's not enough. You need dinner and something. That kind of thing. And it just needs to be bigger and better all the time. And you can put a lot of effort, a lot of planning involved, and then it might be wonderful, and I hope it is if you plan that. But sometimes you put a lot of planning, a lot of money in something, and it's just something about it ruins it. The weather or somebody, something messes it up. So the beauty of the little dates is that, number one, it's not really a lot of planning involved.
Yeah.
It's just doing something that you were going to do anyway, probably, but you do it together. And because you do it together, it can be a date.
You know,
Going to the dollar store, getting gas for the car.
Hold on.
Something like that.
He used to take Brianna
Go the
out
long way home.
on daddy-daughter dates, and
Yeah.
they would go to the dump. That was like their thing. They
To
used to
dump
joke
trash.
about it. To go dump trash. And it was like their joke. That was their daddy-daughter time. They would go and dump trash.
See,
she still does it. She still likes it. It's like her time. She insists on it.
Yeah.
But it's just nice to have something that you know is your time to be alone with someone. Like the kids all valued their time alone with dad and their time alone with mom. We all have special things that we do. But it can work the same way with your spouse. I mean, everybody wants designated time, and it doesn't have to be. I mean, I bet most of the women out there would agree. They just want time.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They just want time. So just
True.
appreciate the little dates. That's it. That's it. That's all you need.
Okay, I got you another one.
Okay.
I don't know what to call it.
Okay.
A lot of people call stuff like this couple goals kind of
Okay.
thing, or I like maybe a direction, couple's direction kind of
Okay.
thing. I think the idea behind this that I have, and it's helpful, that it can be anything. It depends on the household. It depends on the family and what's going on in your life specifically. Okay, it could be goals that you have for raising your kids and you're working as a team to raise them. It could be paying off a mortgage. It could be saving for retirement. It could be any number of things. But get a goal, one that you both can agree on, and then work toward it each and every day. And here's why I think it's important. It's because when the wife is busy and the husband is busy and they're away from each other, they get this idea that life is busy and I'm by myself. And they're not connected to the one that they're married to. But if you both are working on the same goal at the same time, even though you're separate in different places, you're connected because you're both working for the same purpose. My point is, so have a couple goal, something that you agree on, that this is what we are working toward, and we're going to do it every day. We're going to work toward it every day, and then throughout the week or whenever you can, have like little update meetings. You know, encourage one another by saying, hey, this is what I've been doing. We're getting closer, baby. Well, this is what I've been doing. Man, we're getting close. And that kind of thing. And just keep working towards something.
It's like team building.
Exactly. And you will feel, you'll feel closer and you'll get encouraged. I thought of this idea that as a couple, as a husband and wife, build a momentum. Build a momentum and keep that thing going like an engine. And even when you're away from each other during the day, you're still close because you're still attached to that engine. You know what I mean?
It can be something small like a puzzle, which we had when we were younger, or like this year we had our garden. It was something we both were working together on and trying to build up. And it can even be like a big lifelong goal, like you were mentioning, in terms of like saving to pay down your mortgage or something like that. But the idea is just to have something that you both are in agreement on and are connected to.
Anything.
Rather than both working in two separate directions. So I definitely think that's a good one.
Okay. I'll end it on this.
Okay.
It's my favorite, and I hope it's yours. And this is, this is not new with me. A lot of people have said these kinds of things, but it's very important. It's the idea that as a couple, as a married couple, you're busy. You've been together for years, and it's been wonderful.
I was going to say, I don't like your tone there.
Okay, but I guess keep the I love yous going. The hand holding.
Yeah.
Just that close
affection,
that gentleness toward each other. Don't start taking each other for granted, but keep it like a courtship. Almost like you're still dating kind of thing. Even though maybe you've been married since you had full color in your hair, and now it's starting to shine. You still don't lose that fondness that you had for one another. Keep it going, the I love yous and things like that. You follow what I'm saying.
Yeah. I do appreciate the little gestures. Like, I really like that he holds my hand all the time. So, like, when we're in public, like, he'll just walk and hold my hand, and it's really nice. Or even just sitting in the car when we drive. And so, we're not even paying attention to it. you know, we're just doing what we do and driving down the road, and we might not even be talking, but he'll hold my hand. And it's nice just to be connected. I think the whole point of this is, you know, how to stay connected when you're both busy. But it's really just a matter of maintaining communication. And part of the communication is that you still love that other person. You know, they need to know that. All the other communication that you have is really pointing to that idea, but it's good to actually straight up say it and straight up demonstrate it in the things that you do on a daily basis. So the communication is essential in all of the other areas, but ultimately you need to make sure you're communicating that main point, that you love them and you enjoy being with them.
I agree with that 100% because I'm just thinking about the list. And the list that we just gave, and there could be a million things added to the list. Those are just some things.
Simple things.
Get your mind thinking. All of those things would be pointless and just unimportant totally if the I love yous weren't there.
Exactly.
Okay? You eat a meal together. You know, who really cares if the I love yous are not there?
If you don't love them.
You go to bed at the same time. You know, it still could be a cold bedroom if the I love yous aren't there. You follow what I'm saying? And all the other things. I mean, a goal. I mean, who's really going to have an exciting goal with somebody and really shoot for a target? Yeah. If you really don't have the I love yous. But when you love somebody, you're motivated to stay with them and stay connected and really push forward. It really keeps everything exciting, enjoyable, and I love you.
I love you.
Oh, my.
Keep in mind, all of these things are things that you should try to initiate.
Yeah.
Not say to your spouse, you need to do this. That's not going to work. The more that you do your part, the more they'll be encouraged to do their part. So just a side note there. If you're thinking, my spouse needs to get on this. Then you get on it and see how it impacts them. I
agree with that 100%. I mean, when I see you motivated to do something, suddenly I feel motivated. So I think that's a good thing. Don't push them to be the one that starts. You start, and no doubt you'll get their attention. Now, like I said, we gave a quick list. No doubt you probably have something on your mind that you probably try and do. If there's something that you could add to this list that's different than what we said, and it's good and something that we could take note on, or somebody else, it'd be a blessing to them, you can leave that in the comments or something like that.
Yeah, I'd love to hear your suggestions.
Yeah.
Also, while you're here, go ahead and subscribe. Hang out with me and Rick all the time. He's going to try and come hang out every week with us, at least once a week. So. Yeah, I like him. Make sure you click the like button so he knows that you like him. It's your little I love you to him.
That's silly. You don't have to do that.
Yeah, you do. It makes his day. He'll tell me. He'll text me. It's got so many likes.
It really doesn't. But if you do want to click the like button, I'm not going to stop you.
All right.
On next week's video, she's gonna shave me.
No, I am not.
That'd be a video.
First of all, I love his beard.
How many different shaves could you make?
Second of all,
you could give me the sideburns, the mutton chops, the mustache, or the goatee, or that little patch thing. I never got the patch thing.
Anyway, all right, that's it for today. Thank y'all for hanging out with us. Come back next time, and we'll see you then.
Yes. Bye. Thank you all very much.